Good morning, and thank you, Maha, and thank you to the Department of Justice, Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein, and Acting Assistant Attorney General Hansen for your support and your remarks this morning. And thank all of you for coming today. It's really exciting for me to be here at the third meeting and to see some past attendees and new faces. I think it speaks volumes of how this project has been going. So before I get started, just a couple of other things to mention. In your packets, there is evaluations. So if you could fill those out throughout the day, we really appreciate it, and we'll be collecting them at the back table. There's also this sign that says, "I'm committed to safeguarding the constitutional right to counsel because," if people can think about, their own personal reason why they care about this issue. We have Sharpies around either on the tables and back there. We'll be taking photos throughout the day. Anna right there will be taking them back over there. And last, we encourage all of you to follow us and post on social media. You can use the hashtag #2 and counsel. So thank you again. So as mentioned, my name is Genevieve Citron-Ray, and I'm a Senior Program Associate at the Justice Programs Office, which is a center at the School of Public Affairs at American University, and the Project Director of the Right to Counsel National Campaign. I've been involved with this project since the inaugural meeting in 2015. And this campaign is the first of its kind, so it's really exciting and an honor to be a part of it. When we held our first meeting 2 years ago in this very room, we didn't know how things would go, if people would even come, but they did, and they came last year. And this year, we received so much interest that we had to limit our capacity, and that's all because of your commitment to the constitutional right to counsel and effective defense delivery systems. We've made a lot of progress, but there's still a way to go. I was first introduced to public defense when I was an investigator for the Public Defender Service for the District of Columbia, where I worked for 4 years. Every day, I saw how hard public defenders fought for their clients despite many obstacles. Even with caseload caps, full-time staff investigators like myself, intern investigators, and access to expert witnesses, there were never enough hours in the day to devote to each and every case. And here I was working for one of the most resourced, well-funded, and best public defenders office in the country. How were other attorneys and other clients managing in overburdened systems where public defenders have hundreds of cases and face such tight time constraints that in some jurisdictions, public defenders have only 7 minutes per case? This highlighted just how pervasive the obstacles of providing public defense and effective public defense are. At PDS, I was also lucky enough to recognize the importance and witness the power of effective representation, both on an individual and systemic level, as attorneys made sure their clients were seen as humans first. Through effective representation, clients received needed treatment for mental health, trauma, and substance use. Clients received fair and proportionate sentences, and clients whom the government were convinced were guilty were proved innocent, and the correct person was held accountable. In my experience, when this occurred, clients felt heard and trusted the process, and law enforcement officers and prosecutors felt legitimacy in their investigations, regardless of the outcome, because of effective representation. This experience showed me not only the value of public defense, but also highlighted that to ensure the constitutional right to counsel and the fair administration of justice requires the involvement of all system actors. The pursuit of justice is what brought us all into this field, and in order to achieve our collective mission, we need effective public defense. To make sustainable change, we must recognize the value of defense and take a proactive role in its preservation, making sure that it is functioning consistent with the Sixth Amendment. So fast forward to 2017, and here we are today. The Right to Counsel National Consortium embodies this precise system actor collaboration. Consortium members represent prosecutors, raise your hands out there, law enforcement officers, I know you're out there, I see you all, judges, community members, victims advocates, funders, corrections employees, and last but certainly not least, our defenders. There are definitely more than 2 defenders in this room. But today and every day, we celebrate and thank all of you for your active commitment to ensuring the constitutional right to counsel. Over the past year, the Right to Counsel National Consortium has continued to focus its efforts on raising awareness engaging national, state, and local criminal justice stakeholders, community advocates, and policymakers through online outreach, social media, presentations at conferences, roundtable discussions, and webinars, and elevating the defense voice in criminal justice policy conversations. We've grown our consortium and now have over 75 member organizations and over 300 individual members. We've developed system actor champions of the right to counsel. We've presented at 5 national conferences and sometimes had multiple sessions, including at the National Association for Court Management, National Criminal Justice Association, at 2 conferences for the American Judges Association, and at the National Legal Aid and Defenders Association Community-Oriented Defenders Annual Conference. We have held our quarterly webinars that highlighted the findings of our public opinion research and showcased former public defenders who've gone on to act as champions of the right to counsel in different capacities within the justice system. We held a roundtable with court managers on their role in ensuring the constitutional right to counsel, and have 4 more system actor roundtables to come. We've released our monthly newsletters, and last but not least, we published our public research report, American Views on Public Defenders and the Right to Counsel, and accompanying message guide. We have copies of both of these at the back table. So this report presents findings from 6 public focus groups and a survey of a nationally representative sample. The purpose of these focus groups in the survey was to determine what people know about the right to counsel and public defense and the value associated with both. We found that the public has support for public defense. In fact, 2/3 of the people polled favor using taxpayers' dollars to represent people accused of a crime who cannot afford a lawyer. There is a widespread awareness of the need of public defenders. Most people believed at least 1 out of every 2 people arrested and accused of a crime cannot afford a lawyer. There is wide support for reforms to improve public defense, including national standards for a minimum level of resources and qualifications for public defenders, and that core values are key to messaging, and specifically respect for the Constitution, belief in equal justice, and the desire to protect the innocent. In fact, and one thing I found very interesting was that the majority of focus group participants did not know that the right to counsel stemmed from the Constitution. Once they realized this, though, they were more in favor of spending taxpayers' dollars for it. But they also assumed that defense services were provided effectively and at all necessary times, which we know not to be the case. Having this base knowledge has been critical in forming our messages and outreach, and continues to support our efforts and guide us today. We recognize that change takes time and that every person in jurisdiction might be at different stages. And this change requires both changes in our policies and our culture. Today, though, we hope to meet each of you where you are, provide you with new tools to be our right to counsel champions, and inspire you to take action when you return home. I hope you enjoy the day, and I encourage you to meet someone new, listen to an idea that you disagree with, put yourself in the shoes of someone in a profession most opposite yours, and most importantly, recognize the roles we all play in ensuring our constitutional right to counsel and the importance of effective representation. Before I hand it back to Priya to kick off our state and local accomplishments, I want to give a quick shout out to my JPO team who's here today, back there and around. They're here to help throughout the day if you have any questions, and they've also been a big help getting ready for today. And I also want to give a special thanks to the 6th Amendment Center, the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, the National Legal Aid and Defender Association, and my very own colleagues Zoe Root and Preeti Menon. In addition to the Bureau of Justice Assistance and the Office for Access to Justice, you all have been vital partners in this consortium and in helping to plan these meetings. Without your help, guidance, and expertise, this campaign would not be nearly as successful as it is. So thank you all so much for everything that you have done. And please stand so we can all properly thank you.